Reading Explorer 5, 3rd edition, copyright 2020, Cengage Learning Incorporated, all rights reserved. Reading 1A, Secrets of the Maya. The study of caves and wells in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula is shining new light on the beliefs of the ancient and modern Maya. From deep in a well near the ruins of the Maya city of Chichen Itza, archaeoastronomer Arturo Montero shouts to his colleague on the surface, "I saw it! I saw it! Yes, it's true!" Leaning over the mouth of the well, archaeologist Guillermo de Anda hopes to hear what he has suspected for many months. "What is true, Arturo?" he shouts. And Montero yells up again, "The zenith light! It really works! Get down here!" The two archaeologists are anxious to confirm whether this cenote could have acted as a sacred sundial and timekeeper for the ancient Maya. On 2 days every year, May 23rd and July 19th, the sun reaches its zenith over this part of Mexico. At those moments, the sun is vertically overhead and there is no shadow. On the morning of their descent, on May 24th, Montero and De Anda see that the sun's rays are nearly vertical. The day before, they realized a beam of light would have plunged straight down into the water. Beneath its narrow mouth, the walls of the cenote open up to become a giant dome. It looks like a cathedral, except for the roots of trees that penetrate the rock. The beam of sunlight dances like fire on the surrounding stalactites, and it turns the water a beautiful transparent blue. The archaeologists were probably the first people in centuries to watch the sun move slowly across the cenote's water. Did Maya priests wait in this well, known as the Holtun cenote, to observe and correct their measurements of the sun's angle when it reached the zenith? Did they come here during times of drought to make offerings to their water god, and at other times to give thanks for a good harvest? These and other questions involving the Maya religion and its extraordinarily accurate calendar are what the two explorers were investigating. In recent years, archaeologists have been paying more attention to the meaning of caves, the zenith sun, and cenotes in the beliefs of the ancient and modern Maya. Archaeologists already knew that the ancient Maya believed cenotes to be doors to a world inhabited by Chuk, the god of life-giving rain, but the significance of this fact has only recently started to become clear. De Anda began exploring Holtun in 2010. One day, inspecting the walls of the cenote a few meters below the surface, he felt something above his head. He was astonished to find a natural rock shelf holding human and animal bones, pottery, and a knife, probably used for sacrifices, all neatly placed there centuries earlier. Below the water, he saw a number of columns and Maya stone carvings. The well was clearly a sacred site. Key to survival. 3 years later, in the cornfield on the surface above the cenote, a crew of Maya farmers is working hard in the grueling Yucatan heat to pull the explorers out of the well. "There was a good rain the other day," says the crew's leader, Louis Unken, as he wipes the sweat off his face. "The Chuk moved." For men like Unken, the old gods are still very much alive, and Chuk is among the most important. For the benefit of living things, he pours from the skies the water he keeps in jars. Thunder is the sound of Chuck breaking a jar open and letting the rain fall. The Chuck had moved, Unken said, and that meant the planting season would soon arrive. Chuck's absence can cause disasters for the Yucatan Maya, possibly the demise of the ancient Maya civilization itself. Their land is an endless limestone shelf. Rain sinks through the porous limestone down to groundwater levels, and consequently, no river runs through the land. From the air, one sees a green sea of dense jungle, but at ground level, the tropical forest appears very thin. Wherever there is enough soil, the Maya plant corn, or a milpa, a crop-growing system including the corn, beans, and squash that constitutes their basic source of protein. But corn is a hungry crop. It sucks lots of nutrients from the soil. For thousands of years, milpa farmers have kept their small fields productive by burning a different area of trees every year and planting in the corn-friendly ashes. As for water for the fields, that's where Chuck comes in. Only seasonal rains can make the corn grow, and they must arrive in an exact pattern. No rain in winter, so that the fields and forest will be dry enough to burn by March. Some rain in early May to soften up the soil for planting. Then very gentle rain to allow the seeds to begin to grow. And finally, plenty of rain so the corn can flourish. Pleasing the rain god. In the village of Yasuna, many people still depend on milpa, and an annual ceremony is held there to please the rain god. They walk a long way through the forest to a sacred cave and climb down to its center to bring up the water the ceremony requires. They raise the altar, dig a large cooking pit, and provide 13 fat chickens for the ritual meal. They cook them in the pit so the steam can rise directly to the rain god as an offering. One recent such ceremony in Yasuna was guided by Hipólito Pactame, a Maya holy man called a Humem. He stood in front of an altar praying for the holy blessing of rain. On instructions from the Humem, one of the villagers sat on a rock near the altar, blowing from time to time into one of the gourds in which Chuck stores the wind. He was just one of the neighbors, but he was also the rain god. And he sat with his eyes closed so as not to harm the ceremony with his terrible glance. 2 other participants brought him to the altar, facing backward, to receive a blessing from the Humem. Out of nowhere, a wind came up, and thunder could be heard in the distance. As the ceremonial meal was being distributed, the rain started. A sign, the Humem said, that Chuck had received his offering and was pleased with his people's prayer. Soon, perhaps, the earth would be ready for planting.